Welcome back to the regular exclusive podcast. And we got some movie news for you. There's been a lot of trailers last few weeks, but then we've gotten some big movie stuff that's been going on. So let's go through it and let's kick it off with we just got off the success of the Backrooms, and now Hollywood is just
and Obsession.
Yeah, but now Hollywood is just scouring Reddit for stories and things,
creepypastas and like urban legends or things that started online 100%. And they're going for like it's interesting though. This is like, so the next thing that they just announced is Warner Brothers, and it looks like they won a bidding war for the rights to Siren Head, which is one of these kind of like internet fueled urban legend things about a mysterious predator who has a really thin, long frame. Like he's super skinny and tall. And he has two sirens on his head for his head. He has no head, just two sirens. And I don't know anything else about him, but it was like an artist created it, and then it became like a internet thing. But it feels weird. Like they're not, I guess that maybe just because this one, it has an artist who created the image, but I don't know about like the story or backstory or if there is anything. So like they don't have a Kane Parsons to like, put this together, I feel like. So they're honestly, the team that they're assembling, I feel like is like almost like the Avengers level of like.
I'm not familiar with Siren Head, so do you know, like, is the artist who made them, like, are they anonymous or do we know who
his
they
name
are?
is Trevor Henderson, is what it
Okay.
says, and
All
he
right,
was
so
the one who created
this isn't totally a backroom situation where people
No.
don't know who the original artist
saying, like,
of the Backrooms was.
Exactly. Well, that was an image that someone took of like a store, like a hobby.
Yeah, and then like the little
town that
story.
was closing. Yeah. But like, yeah, it was an anonymous user who just made up the little story. But it's so crazy to me that like you'd think they would have come out by now and been like, hey, this shit's making money. Yeah, that was my idea.
They forgot their Reddit login.
Yeah.
So
Like, oh shit. It's been so long. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like after it started making money, somebody should have popped up by now. But the team that they've assembled, since we don't have a Kane Parsons here, because like that just, it seems like this one has a lot less of like a story or anything to go off of. There's like some basic details, but it says that it will be the movie will be co-written by Zach Kreger and Brian Duffield, who Brian Duffield has done he did No One Will Save You, the like kind of almost silent alien invasion movie with Caitlin Dever that we loved. He also did Underwater with Kristen Stewart. That's like a really great movie. And
really
like
great director, really unique director.
So good. Yeah. And he also has the upcoming movie Whale Fall with Austin Abrams and Josh Brolin, where Austin Abrams gets swallowed by a fucking whale. Like that, it looks amazing. So I feel like the fact that he's going to be co-writing this with Zach Kreger, and then Brian Duffield is directing. I'm just like, this sounds like the Avengers teaming up right now.
Seriously. Do you think the entire like production of Whale Fall, Austin Abrams and Josh Brolin is like, dude, you got to meet Kreger. He's the man. You got to meet him.
To Josh Brolin
and Austin Abrams, like saying that to Brian Duffield.
Oh, I thought you were saying that he was saying that to Josh Brolin. I was like, I mean, I feel like they met on the previous movie. No,
no. It's like
they met on
this
Weapons,
collaboration happened because Josh Brolin and Austin Abrams were like, you got to meet Zach Kreger.
I was about to say the movie ends literally with fucking Josh Brolin beating the shit out of Austin Abrams. So I know that they saw each other in that movie. But yeah, I bet you that's exactly what happened, because it feels like a perfect, they do Weapons, then Whale Fall, and then now they're teaming up, which is so exciting. I feel like could be the wrong lesson that we're learning here of like just scouring for urban legends online and like going for it. But like I say, like the fact that we have like some young talent attached to some of them, doesn't have to be with everyone. You could bring in someone who's a little bit more of a veteran like they're doing here. But like,
as long as there's good storytellers.
It's different. Yeah, it's new. It's like, I think there's a lot of creepy shit on the internet. So like there's plenty of stuff, but like, it might get to a point where we're like, all right, enough. It'll be this will be our new trauma. Like it's like fucking internet shit. That's like I think that's the new genre of horror for the next little while.
Oh, you know what? I bet Brian Duffield and Zach Kreger met like some overlap of shooting Resident Evil and Whale
Mm,
Fall.
yeah,
Because Austin Abrams
totally.
is the lead of both of those. So like I could
You're smart.
see them meeting each other just through that or something. I don't know. But
I love it.
I'm excited for this because I don't know anything about Siren Head. But as long as you have really good and creative filmmakers behind
Yeah,
these stories, that's all I care about.
exactly. And after like seeing his alien invasion movie with like the No One Will Save You, but then also his underwater kind of alien invasion movie, Underwater. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like both of those are like just I can't wait to see how Whalefall is because I feel like he's just leveling up every movie.
Well, and especially
Um,
like
and
with
this seems like I don't know, you should look up an image of Siren Head if you've never seen it, but like
I'm looking at it right now. It
I
looks
don't
pretty
know if
crazy.
it's crazy, but I'm like, I don't know if two sirens on the head are scary. And like if it eats people, how does it eat people? But maybe that's a fucked up way. Like you can't tell, but it's like jaws come out of somewhere. I have no idea, but I'm nervous. So
Well, I mean, Brian Duffield is really good with creatures.
yes.
So like
Yeah, all the different alien variations and No One Will Save You were like so unique and cool.
and like them not talking and still like being able to communicate it to the audience. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
I'm excited for this. And Zach
Yeah.
Kreger is going to make it exciting also. So,
And in a similar piece of news, this is a good transition. That just speaking of backrooms, Kane Parsons, the fucking 19-year-old who made that movie. I guess he's 20 now, right?
yeah,
Him so when he made Backrooms, they brought Oz Perkins on, who made The Monkey, Longlegs, and
keeper.
Keeper that we just did an episode on. And they brought him in as like to provide some guidance as like a mentor kind of figure. And apparently like their partnership was so close that there was rumors on the internet. I remember this that it was Oz Perkins who really ghost directed Backrooms.
I remember hearing stuff
And
like
that was
that.
like, I mean, even Mark Duplass like posted a video of like that's total garbage. Um, and it's like obviously he's like a first-time director, so like he's learning, but apparently they like teaming up so much that they're working together on their next on another project coming up. But it says that they are going to like because I think Kane Parsons is still working with A24 to do a backroom sequel.
Yeah.
So this isn't that, but they're set up to team up on an original project, and Kane Parsons, Oz Perkins will be co-writing it, the script, and then Kane Parsons will direct.
Ooh.
But I'm
I,
like kind of like probably he'll be like still guiding him. So I feel like it's gonna be just like pretty excited. But we also don't know which studio um this is going to be. This is like insider news kind of a thing. So like they are probably going to announce it. I would imagine at Neon, but like just because Oz Perkins seems to be the heavy in the relationship, and I would imagine if he's like producing it with his company and he has his deal with Neon, that's probably where they'll go. But
I don't
A24 has
know
backrooms, so who the
if
fuck knows?
if Kane Parsons is going to be the director for it, then I would put my money that it's going to be an A24 movie.
We'll see.
But
I don't know.
I mean, I fully support Neon now, so I hope it's a Neon movie.
I do too. I honestly want it to be Neon now. I never thought I would see the day that I would be like, I hope A24 doesn't get the rights.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love them, but like I still don't love them now with this other stuff. But anyways, I'm really, really, really fucking excited about
I
this. So
I love this kind of, it seems like we're entering this era of like really talented people teaming up again. You know, like I
mhm.
think about like David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin on The Social
Yeah,
Network, where it's like
dude,
director, writer, incredible combo.
meeting of the
Uh,
minds.
yeah, like it's really cool when you get that. And so I like that we have these two movies that
Yeah.
are kind of that situation of like, all right, let's put a really great director, a really great writer together, and let's just like have some magic happen.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be really good. Like whatever it is. I just think that the fact that both of them are both original projects as well, like fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, then the last thing, and this is
Good
the
transition with our negative thoughts about A24. This will explain a little bit more about it. But
so
you do it because I can't explain this one as much as you can.
yeah, so I heard about this and it kind of I was surprised because I didn't hear about it until the news broke that the movie wasn't going to get distributed. But there's a movie, it's a Sam Altman kind of open AI biopic, and it's directed by Luca Guadagnino. He's the
I
guy who
think
did
yeah.
Challengers and
Yep.
Call Me by Your Name.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a really good filmmaker. And from what I heard is like this movie is almost done. Like it's like
It's called Artificial,
it's
apparently.
artificial. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost done. And it was originally going to be distributed by MGM or Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
So like they acquired the rights for it a while ago. They've been filming it, and then news dropped like a week or two ago that they are not going to distribute this movie, even though it's almost done. And it's because they just invested like $50 billion into
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
With
And
OpenAI, just a major partnership less than a year after like Sam Altman attended Jeff Bezos' wedding too.
oh god.
So yeah,
But
it's just like all sketchy shit. I mean, it's the same reason Amazon released the fucking Melania movie. You're like, good God.
and
And
the thing that I was
now they have
most
to back out for the most embarrassing reason of like, oh, sorry, we can't make our partners look bad. It's
yeah,
like,
it's like
cool, great.
you
Good
just
to know that
spent
you're doing
all
that.
this money to buy the rights to this movie. It's almost done. And then I never heard about this movie to begin with. But then when I learned that the person who's gonna play Sam Altman was Andrew Garfield, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, what the fuck?
And it also says that Ike Barinholtz, who we love from the studio, is playing Elon Musk.
That
So I'm like, we have to see this movie in theaters.
I was going to ask if you'd seen the casting for it because I
Yes.
saw that and I'm like, oh my god, Ike Barinholtz. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when we did an episode for Abigail, I was like, if they ever do a Elon Musk movie, Kevin Durant needs to be like
Dude, right? I
he needs
know.
to
I
lose all
feel
the muscle and get fat.
it's like
But
him
like,
or like Kathy Bates. She could do it. I always think Kathy Bates could like, no matter what age, you could make her look like Elon Musk. Like
oh,
she could honestly play him right now.
can you imagine the rage that Elon Musk would
I
have if
would
that
love that.
like
We need to actively campaign for this on social media because if there's anything that my heart is passionate about, it would be that. It is to make him look or to make him like because he would look like such an idiot and he would hate it so much that he would just rage all the time. Oh, it'd be so good. Just
uh
like think of the ego, like how much would be destroyed if it's like huge articles everywhere, like just Kathy Bates to play fucking Elon Musk in the biopic, like would be so great.
he would block the studio's X accounts like
Yeah,
it
I
would
mean, he
be
just became a trillionaire, so I'm sure it wouldn't be great, but like also it would be so fun.
it'd
And
be
I'm just saying,
so funny.
we're gonna fucking post this on social media, get money behind it. We're gonna, go fund me, whatever it takes, guys. Let's fucking do
Oh,
it.
so funny. But so yeah, I was like, what a stupid move. Like you and I are not the biggest biopic fans, but like I'm a fan of anything that Andrew Garfield does. So like
Obviously.
I would want to see that.
And also
Um
this doesn't portray it's not like I mean, unless they well, if it would have stayed at Amazon, they probably would have forced him to make it more like Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's like, this
no.
is the nice and pretty pretend version of what happened.
The article I read said that they decided to drop it because it's a really dark movie. Like that's why they're like, yeah, this is not a good look for our partners and all that bullshit. But then like
Yeah, that would be like really straining on that fucking $50 billion fucking relationship, I bet.
yeah,
But what is
so
interesting though is the studio that did finally save the day, right?
I was talking with a friend about it, and I was just thinking like the what studio is gonna pick this up because like a lot of these studios are in bed with AI now, and I was like the first thought was like A24, but then like the next day they announced that huge investment in A24 for AI stuff, and I was like,
Yeah,
so the only studio that can do this,
is
it has to be
Neon.
Neon. And then like 2 days later, it was announced that they picked it up. And I'm like, Neon, yes.
Thank God they saved the day. We knew they would because Neon is officially now our favorite studio. But it's just nice to like think to know something in your heart and to have it backed up in real life. Be like, yeah, they are really the hero that we don't deserve them, but we need them right now.
Yeah.
And thank God for Neon, because A24 literally could have fucking it's like they chose, do we take the AI movie that's criticizing you, or do we take the AI money from
Yeah.
Google? We took the money, bitches. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. A24, you've sold out. As if we could tell already. Like I kind of could tell, but the AI thing felt like feels like it sealed the deal. A lot of people like are looking at them hella negatively now.
Yeah.
So
The first bad news was the years ago when A24 said that they were going to try and focus on like franchises and IP.
exactly.
Be
And we
like,
were like,
no,
no,
no, let's not do that. And then,
no.
but
Why?
now
Why?
this is it.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is AI, just get the fuck out of here, okay? And this movie, because it's dealing with the like literally the fucking man and people who fucking brought AI to the table and are like the reason that it's a huge problem right now and unregulated. Like
Yeah.
that's got to be a fucking dark story. There's no nice, happy way to tell that
Yeah.
because we still don't know the repercussions, but it's going to end on a very fucking ominous note, I'm sure.
I'm
But
excited.
I'm very excited that it's actually getting saved. And like, I think actually I just saw that they're even saving, I think Universal just said that Megan spinoff Soulmate, they're like releasing it on on VOD directly in August. Cause they had this whole spinoff baked and ready to go. Like they were gonna release it, but Megan, the second one, did not do good.
Oh.
And so Megan 2.0, was kind of a
Yeah.
disappointment. So they canned this whole movie and people were like, and they didn't get a tax return on it or anything. But people were like, what the fuck? And then they just announced like yesterday that they're like, oh, by the way, we're gonna
I didn't even
release that on VOD. And I was like, I don't even know. It sounds like the movie, wasn't there some like smart home AI evil thing that was
Yeah.
recently? So it sounds kind of like that.
Oh,
But I have no idea.
I never heard of that. Interesting.
I know, but I'm still gonna fucking watch it. Like
Yeah.
I'll watch it when it's streaming.
Yeah. I
But
had a good time with 2.0.
I'm glad that movies are being saved. Is my ultimate point.
Yeah.
When they're like, I mean, we lost Batgirl, and I think we all took that to heart. Like, I wasn't necessarily like, I need to see Batgirl or my life is over. Like, I didn't give a shit. But like the fact that like they canned it for a tax return, and it was already done. It was just like straight up
Yeah.
garbage.
It's annoying when
It's
they're like
disgusting.
oh yeah, it's done. So but we're not gonna release it. It's like, dude, that's rude. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's like the meanest. That's like just fucking gross. Like I don't like it. So I feel at least like a little bit of hope for the world when these things happen and like Neon or somebody like that. Mubi maybe. That's like a new studio, right? They did The Substance. Like I
yeah,
don't know. They'd probably be open to like fucking doing the anti-AI movie because they like need projects, I'm sure. But
yeah.
like actual big studios, Neon seems to be the like only pure one we can rely on these days.
I'm gonna love it if artificial does just gangbusters at the box office and then Amazon misses out on all that money.
I mean, they're already robbing us blind. I mean, there's no way any of us who have an Amazon Prime. It's like we're too deep now. I can't cancel
Yeah.
that. Like, and they've already got us by the balls. Let at least Neon, somebody else should profit for here,
Yeah.
and in general, in all other ways.
All right, well, let's take a little break and then get into Obsession.
Have you ever actually like flirted with Nikki?
I'm gonna go get some shots.
I'll come with you if she means this much to you. And I know she does. To say, Nikki, I think we should grab a drink sometime.
Nikki, wait. I was gonna ask you.
What?
I lost my train of thought.
Hi.
Good night. What else?
Why?
One wish, Will. You only get one wish. I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
I love you so much. A love only the branch of a willow tree could conjure.
weird how you two are dating all of a sudden. Like super dating.
I think Nikki is going through something.
Like, what? Is she okay?
No.
Jeez, what kind of spells you put on her?
Nikki? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
All right, let's talk about maybe the biggest surprise movie of the year, Obsession.
I don't think it was a surprise for you and I. I think you and I were adequately like, this movie's gonna rock.
I was hyped for it. I was like, I love the premise. I love everything that's going on. I heard a lot of hype for it. And so I was like, I feel like this movie's going to rock. I did not expect it to be the box office monster that it ended up being. Like,
Yeah.
I remember,
I don't think anyone predicted that, which is like why it's like going to be, I'm sure the studios are already trying to replicate the success, but it's going to be really fucking hard because it's like one of those things you just can't plan for.
yeah. And it's like, I remember when we were talking about at the beginning of May, like how excited we were for May, and like,
Yeah.
we had Hokum, we had the back rooms, we had Obsession. And I remember saying, if I had to bet on one of these movies beating the others, I put my money on the back rooms. And the back rooms, it got close, but Obsession just still beat it.
I'm pretty sure I put my money on Obsession. So whatever that bet was,
You're better
me.
at predicting than I am.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about box office. I just knew that this movie had like the same kind of vibes as Talk to Me coming out the gate, which was like another huge movie that was just amazing. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously like no one predicted it would do this, but I think this is definitely going to be, no matter what. I mean, I can't say that absolutely as a fact. So barring any like fucking crazy surprise, huge, incredible movies of the year, maybe Zach Cregger's Resident Evil, but like I still feel like this Obsession will still be like my just overall number one because it's like an original movie too, original story. It doesn't have big actors in it, and it was made for under $1 million. So it just has all these things going for it.
The biggest actor in this movie is Andy Richter.
Yeah,
Like-
and he's like just the dad of I love how they all work at like a guitar shop too, all during the day and usually at the same time. I was like, this sounds like a great job.
But yeah, like, and I'd have to double check the numbers, but I'm pretty confident that this is now the second most profitable movie of all time. Because Blair Witch Project, I don't think that'll ever happen again. I don't think there will ever be a movie that does.
Well, I think number one is
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, but it was Blair Witch before Paranormal Activity because it was also like super cheap to make.
Yeah, and I mean Blair Witch could still maybe beat it because I think Blair Witch was only made with like.
No, Paranormal Activity was like even cheaper.
Well, yeah, I mean, Blair Witch could still be technically more profitable than Obsession because I think Blair Witch was made for like $200,000 or less than that. I'm not sure, but anyway, this is 2 or 3. It's one of those. But I'm just so happy that this movie did so good because for me personally, like Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity haven't really aged very well for me. Like you see the age when you watch those movies. This movie looks incredible. It's not trying to be a found footage movie. And so like I could see this movie just holding up forever. Like you could tell anyone at any time that in their horror journey, you're like, hey, watch this. You won't be disappointed.
Anybody not even on a horror journey. Like I would feel okay recommending this to like my dad.
Yeah.
or like anyone that like just like an adult, like any kind of person, like someone who doesn't like horror, especially, I would recommend this. It's a great starting point.
I can imagine your dad watching this movie and him just being like, "Well, that was a stupid wish. Why why would
For
you
real.
make that wish?"
Yeah. Maybe I'll get him to watch it. I'll tell you what he says. But I just looked this up just for you. But Blair Witch Project was made for a production budget between 35,000 and 60,000, and
Okay.
it made about 248 million, so about like 4,000 times what it cost
Okay.
to make. And then Paranormal Activity grossed 194 million, but it only cost $15,000 to make. So
Yeah.
that's why it was like 12,900 times its cost
Yeah.
is what it made. So it's going to be really hard to do that. But Obsession has surpassed 400 million on a 750,000 budget. So you're right that it's right up there.
Yeah. It's
Like, that's crazy.
it is. And but like, let's just go ahead and get into this. So
It's
Re-
it deserved it. Like, I mean, say what you want about Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project. I think they're great for their time, but like Obsession just feels like a movie that I think we could all agree, like, this is like the little movie that could this year, and we're just happy for it.
yeah, like Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch, they were like first of their movies to do that.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it was
exactly.
total lightning in a bottle. This movie, like one of the things I love about Obsession is how simple it is. Like the premise is so simple. It's not complicated in any way. They don't try to over explain anything. It's the monkey paw thing. It's like you make a wish, but that wish kind of it's a double-edged sword. And it's
Well,
about having a crush.
Yeah, it is. I would say like the whole movie, the real point of the movie is all that like Bear is the one who is obsessed with Nikki.
Yes.
It's not that Nikki, well, she becomes obsessed with Bear, but only because he wishes for it. But I saw that Curry Barker said it's not actually a monkey's paw, because a monkey's paw implies that there is like always going to be a downside to whatever the wish is, and that like no matter what, it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
But he said that like, as you could see from like when his friend does the wish, and it's like when Ian wishes for $1 billion and it just rains down. So he's like, it's not like it's always bad. It's just what you wish for and how you phrase it. And I like that, because then it puts way more of the blame on the person actually doing it. But it's like, I guess how many of us would believe it was really magic if you were using it, right?
Oh,
Probably wouldn't phrase it right. But the way that he did make the wish is like, that's just not the way you do it. That's a bad wish. It's a bad wish movie, basically. So it's not like a cursed object movie or like a cursed item or something, or like any kind of curse. Like it is a curse, but it's like the person brought it on themselves.
Yeah, it's like how different would this be if Bear just said, "I wish Nikki loved me," but he said,
even if he said that, that's wrong. I think what he should have said was, I think you just shouldn't have wished for it anyway.
I agree. I agree. But
if you wish anyone to love you, I think that's the problem, because you're taking away their agency. And it's like, I think the big thing of this movie, like, this is good for talking about this out front, because there's a lot of people online that were like thinking Bear's like the good guy. And like, I know, because they chose that actor on purpose, because he's like so innocent seeming, and he has like this like kind of persona. And I feel like it's very much like Jack Quaid in Companion for the first half, where like then when he turns and you're like, you start to see kind of more what's underneath, you're like, it's hard to square it at first, because like they can come off so like nice and like the total nice guy that you wouldn't suspect. And that's why it's like harder for some people, I guess, to see when it's less obvious, because he seems like such a nice guy. But like, he said he like loves her like free spirit and shit, but like his wish immediately took away the free spirit from everything that he liked about her.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to I'm going to cover my own ass real quick. What I was trying to say was how different, like if this isn't a monkey's paw, where it's not inherently a double-edged sword, it's just literally what you wish for. The difference of I wish they would love me and I wish they would love me more than anyone on the planet.
Sure, totally.
Like those are like, you're adding a level of infatuation.
Yeah.
That that
And it's
he obviously feels, because
yeah,
like the idea as I interpret it is like he wished she loved him as much as he loved her or was obsessed with her. And so that's why she goes so crazy, because it's just a mirror reflecting the feelings.
mhm,
But yeah, let's let's just go and talk about this whole thing of Bear being the victim or Bear being the good guy.
yeah.
When I first heard it, I was like, this is insane. This reminds me of Dune 2 all over again.
Yes, and people learning the wrong things, being like Timothy Chalamet. Yes, he's finally like rising to power. It's like, no, this should be like fucking when you're watching Revenge of the Sith, and you're
Yeah.
like, Anakin, how could you?
Yeah.
You were supposed to. Well, I can't misquote it again for Nolan, but like,
You're supposed
you know
to
what I
bring
mean?
balance to the force, not destroy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like people, I mean, and I think it's a combination of great writing, great directing, and then also Michael Johnston gave a great performance.
Yeah.
He is such like, he's just kind of like a timid, kind of sad sack.
It's like he's relatable, but until he like makes the wish, and then even then you're like, I can understand because you wouldn't think it's real magic. But then when he is like willingly knowing that the wish is real and that she is trapped and he's not doing anything about it, like that's the thing. He really doubles down on his decisions throughout the movie that like should be clear, but yeah, it's like for some reason some people maybe don't get that. And I just feel like I almost felt bad for the like whatever he's like entity that like the wish created in her place, because like it was just created to love him and like he couldn't love it as much as like it loved him. And I was like, I kind of felt bad for the thing. Like
Yeah.
whatever it is in there, I don't know what the fuck it was, but like I don't think it was like a demon that like, oh, if you fuck up your wish, you just get this weird demon. I think it's just like it's just the magic. I don't know how. I love that we don't know anything about how this magic works, but it's
Yeah.
like when he looks it up on the Reddit thread, and it's like there's literally a comment that's like that says like my mom used to be ugly and now she's really hot. Like this works, and I was like, so it really shows like there is ways to like do it correctly and
Yeah.
to say it. But with him, it should not have been about her loving him. It should have been like, I wish I was
Had the
type of
courage.
had the courage. Like, I wish I had told her how I felt about her. Or like, I wish I had the courage to tell her how I feel right now. And then it would like give you the courage, right? Or maybe if I wish for $1 billion, I'll have a lot less problems. Maybe I won't worry about,
Yeah.
being an incel all the time. But
Well, like
but
I think the thing that was really great about Bear is that he, and I don't know, maybe it's a guy thing or maybe other people feel this way, but like he was extremely relatable. I feel like so many people could think of a time when they were young. I think the idea is supposed to be like they're seniors in high school or like they just graduated and they're trying to get into colleges.
I got it there, like maybe like in between, like
Like
they were like
18,
early
19.
or yeah, like like late teens, early 20s, like working somewhere before they like go off for school. Cause it seemed like it was over the summer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Maybe
seemed like they were all kind of in that transitionary period of like high school to
real jobs.
what am I gonna do with my life sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like they're all in that figuring it out pre-stage. But like the whole idea of like having a crush on someone, but then being too scared to say anything or like to make the move or whatever. That's such a relatable feeling to a lot to
Oh, yeah.
everyone, I feel like.
Not
You
just
know?
men, to women too, I would say. There's definitely like, especially around that age, I feel like you're just willing to fall in love with anybody or be like obsessed with anyone because it's like you're young and you don't know anything. And like also people at work seem like they're different. Like they're just like you only see them at work. And so like I feel like the work crushes are like a total thing for sure.
When you leave school, like work kind of becomes like your school friends. Like you
100%.
realize you get so close to people because you see them so often.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
It's
And
true.
then if you leave a job or if you leave school, like it becomes a lot harder to like maintain those friendships.
Yeah. And I don't know what it's like to be like friend zoned by people. Like, I don't know. I feel like a guy problem. Maybe I'm sure some women can associate with it, but I feel like that's something that like most guys have gone through at some point, or at least felt that they have.
Yeah.
but it's like it depends. Like it's like okay, I get that, and like being in the friend zone sucks, but it's like this is like kind of every man who's ever been friend zone's like revenge kind of a thing. It feels
Yeah.
like. I don't know. It feels like, haha, you never liked me, so now you have to like me, and it feels like a dark, like that's how it should be seen. This movie feels like, oh, like what if one of those incels got his hand on some fucking magic, or one of
Yeah.
those guys who was like friend zoned, which you're not necessarily an incel, but like until I would say like his behavior starts once he's like, oh, I'm fully aware that she's like trapped in some hellscape screaming nonstop, and I'm perfectly fine with continuing this relationship.
You become an incel when you decide that someone made you an incel.
Exactly. Or
Like-
it's okay that like you're the only person who's like needs matter in this relationship, clearly.
Yeah, like the moment you blame a woman or somebody else for your loneliness.
Or lack of sex, especially
like
because it's
that-
like just because we have vaginas doesn't mean that they're like open for business for everybody. That doesn't mean you have a right.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like this movie especially is like obviously Bear isn't like intently being malicious to her, but like
No.
you feel that undertone of it, right? Like where he's like when he's like, is Nikki okay? Is she okay? And it's like even on the phone call, he's like, do you want to talk to her? Like, I honestly would love to hear that conversation. Like, could she even talk in that state? What the fuck?
And
And when he does talk to her, he just is so toxic. So it's like he really, it does feel like some of that anger is coming out in his behavior, less than like him being verbal about it is all.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't pick up on that, but maybe they should have. Maybe they needed to be more blatant with it because some people are like, this guy's the hero. The same shit happened with Joker,
Yeah.
And then they made a sequel and people are like, oh, I guess we were the Jokers.
Yes. But this movie sucks, because it's calling me out. This movie sucks. Like,
yeah, we're all just gonna pretend it's bad.
Yeah, and also I love how they really like they make Bear really sympathetic early on, but then like it's like they give checkpoints throughout the movie that it's like, hey, he's a bad guy. Like he's not he's not necessarily an evil person, but he's somebody doing bad things. Like I think the biggest and like obvious glaring moment in the movie for me is when they have the diner scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he learns that her dad does not have cancer, and then she has her iconic breakout. No.
I was getting Get Out vibes 100%. Were you? I was like, this is almost like when she's like, no. I'm like, for some reason, when someone just says no like a lot and either gets louder or like more emotional during it, it's like very stressful.
When I was watching that again the other night, I was like, this has to be her Oscar reel. Is that scene just
literally
like
no.
We're having a good date.
I was like, Nolan, when we were watching this movie, I go, I'm gonna do all this shit to you. My favorite is when she it sounds like she cracks the like bathroom tile and like the shower drain off the fucking hinges when he's like, I'm gonna go to a boys' night.
Yeah.
Like she's just so good in this movie 100%. But like the biggest thing too is like with Bear, it's like you could see the way that like whatever he's conjured in her, right? It's obviously not Nikki. We know that immediately, but because of the like very obvious clues, like when Nikki flashes back, I just thought that was like such a great device and so effective at jump scares. Like that first one when they're making out and she like falls backwards. That was their like first scene on the shoot the whole time. And like Curry Barker said he had no idea if she could like fully go to where like he wanted her to go for the movie because she was very private about like her performance until the day of, and then like that was the first take and they used it, and I was like, that's amazing.
Well, we're gonna get to Inde Navarrette
totally,
I was gonna say the diner scene and that whole sequence that happens. The fact that the next scene is him fucking her, I was like, Bear, you're a bad guy. Like,
if you couldn't tell, but also like whatever entity it was, you could see that like that little montage right after like they tell each other that they like each other.
Yeah, it's like a really nice sort of montage. It
seems like so really once his behavior changes, it's like, and he's not all in like he was, the entity starts getting darker and more obsessed and like more fucked up and doing and glitching wrong and doing weird
It
things,
starts to overcompensate.
like feeding the cat to him and shit. Like it's like so. In that, I think that that's interesting because I didn't notice that the first time, but I'm like, you're right. Like at the beginning, it doesn't seem like there's a problem. Like obviously they're like infatuated with each other, but like that's really the only problem. But like it seems like there's like a good maybe a week. Who knows how long that montage was? It seemed like a good enough time that like they were maybe having an okay time, and then shit starts getting weird. But I feel like especially once you're right, like having sex with her, that sex scene I think is so like harrowing. Just like the soundtrack I think is so effective, but like her face is like disturbing. Like she is like checked out and just moaning for him. And there's like so many ways you can like basically interpret that scene, which is why I think it's so scary because there's like a lot of implications. But like I've seen things where it's like maybe it's like the entity knows that like it can't see him or he can't see its face, so it's like it doesn't need to perform or like do that. It doesn't need to control those muscles of hers at the moment because that's like it's basically like a thing wearing her skin, and like you can only see her or any of like her personality like behind the eyes.
Yeah, that whole scene where they're fucking, it's so uncomfortable because like it's essentially a rape scene.
Yeah.
And like the one thing we don't really know, the movie doesn't really tell us, is like does Nikki, like, is she experiencing everything that's happening?
Like is it like a Get Out situation?
Yeah.
Is what I'm feeling like it might be, but also I don't know. Maybe she's in some other space, but it feels like that scene, the way that her eyes are, you can interpret it a lot of different ways as like the entity not just like performing for him and like because it's not like having to like use her face, or it's like Nikki is like getting a front row fucking seat to the rape of Nikki, which is fucked if that's the case. But that's why this movie's great, because it doesn't over explain and everything has a lot of implications, but like none of them good for Bear. And if this scene wasn't enough to sell you on him, I would say when the real Nikki's like, it's me, don't wake her, and it's like, please Bear, just kill me, and he's like, would it be so horrible, is it so terrible to be with me, would it be so bad to be with me, and she's like, I haven't been with you at all this entire time.
That's not what this is about.
I know. And she's like, please just kill me. Shh. And then he just like can't even do that. It's like, fucking bitch. I'm like, that was some incel behavior. He has gone full circle at this moment. Once he responds with that, I was like, all right, well, this guy is actually the worst. 100%. So yeah, I think the movie by the end should make it really clear, even when at the last moment he's trying to like, he
just bitches out. He's gonna finally do the right thing, and then he tries to bail.
But I love the fact that Nikki ends up saving herself, even if accidentally. So but we'll get to that.
I mean, the thing I just love about this movie is it's just less is more. Like that's everything I'm thinking of. Everything that's going on. They don't have any exposition on the magic that's going on. It's just nope.
The way that the people at the shop act about it, so nonchalant, are like my favorite. It's so good, because it also makes you think at first when he goes back and he's like, where are the One Wish Willows? And then that guy's like, what's a One Wish Willow? And he's like, and it's like, you are like, oh shit, it's gonna be like one of those things where it's like the magic item has never been here, and he's like, no!
I'm just fucking with you. They're over here.
But you can't come in here with that fucking energy. Okay, it's morning. Like, I love this. And then he's like, oh my God, dude, what did you do? What did you wish for? And I love he's like, she's obsessed with me. He's like, oh, that's not so bad. But it's like, I love that they're just so casual about it. And even like the voice on which, by the way, if you didn't know, the voice when he calls this customer service is fucking Curry Barker, the filmmaker. So just loved it. Cause he's like, so like, hello. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, are you calling about the One Wish Willow? And it's like, okay, you want a refund? Yeah, we don't really do that. Like, just so straightforward. Nobody acts like, it doesn't seem like your normal fucking, like, it seems like there would be more like somebody with some sort of knowledge somewhere to share with you. But it seems like everybody's just like, they're kind of acting a lot like Rosemary from Widow's Bay, where it's like, she's seen some shit because she's always pretty, like, I have my qualms, but like, I'll just be supportive, like that kind of a thing. And you're like, I feel like he should have spoken up a little bit. You know, maybe that should have flagged it. But that's what's
Well,
great about the movie, though. You're right, is that like probably because they didn't have time with like the low budget and the like,
they have
20-day
time or
filming
money.
schedule
Yeah.
to film it. Like, I think that's probably it. But I'm so glad because I think less is more. 100%. You're right. Is the thing with this
It's
movie?
like this goes back and reminds me of like the Creep movies or the Creep tapes.
Yes.
Just like what can we do? Well, actually, this had a much bigger budget than any of the Creep movies, but the previous, I guess, is it a movie? I don't know, but it's on YouTube.
It is. They released it directly to YouTube, but yeah.
And it's called Milk and Cereal. You watched it a little while ago, and you told me it's really good, and I finally got around to watching it. Yeah. And I mean, talk about less is more. Like that that movie reminds me of the Creep taste. Just like, hey, we have an iPhone and a couple $100 for some gore, like
some
essentially
squibs or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think I heard that they spent like $800 on that movie, and it had to have just been for the blood spat, like the blood effects when people quote unquote die. And we're gonna try to not spoil it, but we have to talk about it. Yeah, but go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's available to everyone.
And we should call out it's Milk and Cereal, SERIAL. So it's not like just,
serial killer, not serial.
It's
breakfast.
Just don't look up anything. Just watch it. It's only an hour. It's on YouTube for free, and it's just awesome. So it has.
You know what it reminds me of? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the guy who plays Ian in Obsession, the friend. He's also like the other co-lead with Curry Barker in the movie in Milk and Cereal. So. Yeah,
and those two guys, they have a YouTube channel very similar to Talk to Me, the Philippe brothers with Raka Raka. They have a comedy YouTube channel called That's a Bad Idea.
Yep.
And it's just like sketch comedy, and it's hilarious. And then they, on this same channel, they drop this hour-long found footage horror movie that feels like a segment of VHS.
Yeah.
And like, it's so good.
Clever.
It's so much
clever.
It's so much better than anything you would expect to just like show up on YouTube.
100%. This is the movie I feel like that got Curry Barker fully more notice. And I know that like he's done a couple other horror features on there. There's a movie called The Chair that he did on the YouTube.
Yeah, they're like shorts.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it, but apparently like they came to him and were like, we want to make a feature version of that. And he said, well, I actually wrote the script for this movie called Obsession. I was just going to like do it and like release it on my YouTube channel. And then they were like, but he's like, but I would love to like actually make this like a real movie. And they were like, fuck yeah. So I love that like Milk and Cereal is like definitely something that feels like a perfect combination of like he'd done some horror shorts and then also like all these comedy things. And I feel like Milk and Cereal really like blends both of those categories really well, but it also has such like it's really structured well, and like the twists and turns are just like unexpected and really, really fun.
Yeah. And like the thing I really liked about Milk and Cereal was like kind of similar to that other movie that we watched earlier this year, Faces of Death. Like I thought the premise was really interesting and creative, like more than I would have expected. Like the premise is essentially these two guys, they have a prank YouTube channel, and prank YouTubers in my head are them and scalpers are just like the scum of the earth. I hate prank channels. They're so not fun. It's just and so the whole time I was watching this, I was like, I'm glad this is happening to you guys because you guys suck. Like,
is this what happens if you prank people? Is it eventually escalates into murder?
Yeah,
that's what I think, and I agree because I also would not want to be scared like this in real life. But it was shocking to me how it was like it starts off that way, and you're like, okay, I don't know where this is going, but like we'll see. And I would say like about maybe like 15 minutes in. Like there were some sequences that really gave me like a full-on chill down the spine.
Yeah.
And I was like really stressed, like really, really freaked out. And then it twists again and it's something completely different, but it's like just never loses you.
It's crazy how much they pack into like an hour.
Yeah, like it feels like a real movie.
Yeah, like if it was 30 minutes longer to round out some stuff, I would have been totally fine with it. Like,
Yeah.
it was so quick paced, and you're constantly wondering, like,
What
without
the fuck is a prank? What's real?
we are trying so hard to not give any spoilers away because like this movie is a ride, and
You can't know anything about it. Like that, I never told you anything about this movie. I was just like, it's milk and cereal. You just have to watch it for yourself. Like, I think the only thing I told you was that one of the guys named is Milk
yeah,
because he drinks milk, and the other guy's name is Seven. Like, it's weird.
yeah,
But I'm like, the less you know, the better. Like, you can't know anything about this before you watch it, or else you would like it would just be lame, I think, if you
Yeah.
knew what was coming. Like, the whole point of this is the fact that you're like, what the fuck is this movie about? And it just changes like so many times. But it's also like just so well done. And like that's 100% the reason that I was like, yeah, I want to watch anything this guy does. Like
yeah,
either
and,
of these guys do.
and like yeah, the premise is so like the whole intriguing part of this movie is the premise of them being prank YouTubers. So the entire movie, you're not sure what's a prank and what's not. And that is so like unexpectedly effective.
Yes, because they really use it to its full potential. Like they don't
Like-
waste it at all in this movie because like they keep you guessing on literally everything.
Like the
For a
whole
long
movie,
time.
I'm just waiting for like it was a prank. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And then like when you finally realize like something is not a prank, you're like, whoa, this
Yeah.
shit's going a little bit further than I thought. And it's so unique. I just feel like it's like it's like hard to even talk about it without just getting into the spoilers because I'm so glad you finally watched it. But like my
And-
God, it's just a great fucking, and I can't believe they were gonna do Obsession for YouTube for free too. Like, thank God they didn't, because this guy, like, fucking Curry Barker, like he deserves a lot. Like he deserves the money, and he's getting it right now. So good for
and
him.
And the fun thing with Milk and Cereal is that like you get to see the two guys, Curry Barker and then what's his
Cooper
name?
Tomlinson.
Cooper Tomlinson. Like you get to see them really act. And
Yeah.
like
Dude, I know Cooper Tomlinson, like I thought was so good in that in fucking because he starts off and he's like very similar to like if you've seen Obsession, you'll recognize him like right away.
Yeah.
I feel like he's very similar at the beginning, but just a prankster, bro. And then it's like I would say once the shit starts getting real, like his performance I thought was so good.
He's really like in Obsession, he's good, but like he's a
just
total
like-
side. He's a total side character. Like
He's kind of an asshole too.
yeah, he's the worst. Like
He's kind of a bad friend as
Yeah.
well, but he's
He-
also like I kind of still love him, but like I'm also like that fucking guy.
yeah, but like he's really putting on a performance in Milk and Cereal, and then Curry Barker is like after
Delightful.
watching this, I was like, oh man, I want to see Curry Barker in a movie again. Like he is so like in
He's a
that's
good
a,
actor.
in That's a Bad Idea. He really like in all their sketches, he really like leans into like the awkward character.
Oh, 100%.
and he's really good at it.
He's nails it, and I feel like that's one of the reasons that like some of the stuff that like works really well in Obsession is because he's like leading into those awkward moments, but he's like I never realized that those are just inherently funny too, but it's also
Yeah.
like they always get a fucking huge laugh, all those moments. And like he even called out in the behind the scenes stuff about like, because I just got the movie and it comes with the 20-minute bonus features. And he was saying that like that scene where like she's up in the room at night and like moving around with the flower face in front of her head and talking all creepy, like I just go back to sleep. I just like watching you sleep. And then he's like he said when he was writing it, he was just thinking like what would you actually do in that situation? And he's like you probably would just like lay down and pretend to go to sleep for like
Yeah.
a second. And like when he does that, he's like every time when we like showed it, it was like got a huge laugh. But he was like, I never really thought about that. But I think it's like those awkward moments are like so fucking hilarious, and he
Yeah.
hits them in a different way than like what's his face, the guy from the Chair Company.
Tim Robinson.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm like my mind is blanking, but like Tim Robinson leans fully hard into those awkward moments, like really a lot. And
Tim
this guy
Robinson
was-
is like, I'm gonna make everything awkward.
I'm
And
gonna
like
make there's no non-awkward moments, honestly. Like he leans into like his whole thing is all awkward, but like Curry Barker leans into it like less, but like you can still see it in a similar way.
Curry Barker is he's a lot more of like orchestrating the awkwardness rather
Yeah.
than being the awkwardness.
And
Like,
it's those moments, but those are like the weird relief moments, honestly. Like all of this movie, there's like a lot of moments that take you by surprise. And like we're not normally like, oh, I love a good, like I do love a good jump scare. Like I don't
Yeah.
want jump scares like all the time in the movie, but like
Yeah.
if there's a good jump scare, I'm like, oh man,
if
that
they're
was
earned. Yeah.
this one had a lot of them, but
Oh,
I just feel like, and it's weird because Milk and Cereal didn't really have a ton. And I love the fact that they made this, it feels on, I mean, I would say like I could totally see the inspo for him of like Hereditary being like his like the most defining horror movie for him.
yeah.
And like
yeah.
this being in that vein, but like a totally different approach. I really love that.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm just glad that Curry Barker's here, basically, and the fact that like he's already got a 7-figure deal for like his next film that like is untitled or he hasn't even written. They don't even have a plot. He just says like he'll do another movie for that deal, but like he has Anything But Ghosts coming up, which we can talk about at the end after this movie. But that's like his next film that's coming out, and I'm like, I love the fact that he's already got like another film on the way and then a deal for a third film. That's awesome.
Well, and I think we just have to reiterate the importance of the relationship between Curry Barker and Cooper Tomlinson. Like Cooper Tomlinson wasn't listed as a writer or anything. I think he is listed as a writer for the next movie, but like these guys have been doing the YouTube stuff together. They've been creative partners essentially their entire lives. And I have to imagine that Curry and Cooper just are sounding boards off of each other. And like,
Oh yeah.
like Raka Raka, like those guys are literally brothers. But like these guys, everything that was going on in the making of this movie, Cooper was right there with Curry Barker, especially just also like the fact that Curry Barker and Cooper weren't front and center in Obsession. Like
Yeah.
Cooper plays a pretty like vanilla character in Obsession and really just lets everyone else shine in the movie.
100%. But you know what's funny is that you're so right, because so I think in the behind the scenes thing I watched, he said that they met in film school when they both moved to California, and he said that they both dropped out of film school like shortly after to make movies together on their YouTube channel. And I was just like, I love that. And that like Cooper was like, I'm just glad that he gave me such a big part in his first movie, and I was hoping I wouldn't screw it up. But I think it was funny because Curry Barker said he's literally the guy I go to with everything before it's like done or whatever. Like I show him everything, but he said what I've realized is that he doesn't react to anything. So I never know how something's gonna land when it actually like does a screen test or something. Like he's like, I had no idea how things were gonna turn out because he doesn't give me anything. I'm like, but he's for some reason we work together so well and we're such a great creative team. But I was like, I love the fact that he's like, I just tell him and he's like, sounds good, or like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know. I just love the fact that like I still feel like he brings a lot to the relationship, but yeah, I'm really hyped about this movie, and I'm glad that like after you see Milk and Cereal, I think you just appreciate Cooper Tomlinson a lot more. So if you are interested and you haven't seen it, please check it out.
Yeah, it's a great found footage, great YouTube movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop fucking around. Let's talk about Inde
Navarrette. Oh God, I just love her so much, and what a queen.
Like we talk about like breakout performances. Like this has to be one of the greatest like bursting onto the scene movies ever. Like up there with like Melissa McCarthy and Bridesmaids. Like,
oh yeah,
just
star making basically.
Yeah, it's like prior to this, she was in a couple random things. Like she was on 13 Reasons Why. She was on Superman and Lois. And but
she'd been on things, but never like the star. But like the shit that she brought everything and more to this movie. And like, she's going to be busy for a very long time, I believe.
Yeah. Like I feel like every year we talk about like if this person doesn't get an Oscar nom, we're gonna riot. I actually think people will riot.
I will riot and burn down the Academy in Los Angeles.
Like-
Their building, whatever the fuck it is. I will find it and burn it to the ground if they do not nominate her at all. Because like, show me any performance that could be on that level. It's like impossible. But I mean, she did say that she studied like intently for this movie. Her like main sources of inspiration for like especially the facial control and like all the different like things that
Unbelievable.
all the micro expressions. She said she studied Pearl and Mia Goth's performance and Hereditary and Toni Collette. And I was like,
Oh,
well, duh, you're learning from the best when you're going
Yeah.
for those specifics. But like the things that she does and like the way that she was talking about it in the behind the scenes stuff about like her and Curry Barker trying to find this like this look with her eyes that was
Yeah.
like they did it in a way that it was almost like Uncanny Valley, where it was almost like you could see the like pain and the real Nikki coming through in the eyes only, and like
Yeah.
this other being like mechanically moving her body. And I just thought like it's crazy though how it is like 100% that's how it comes across. And she just like, I mean, that's some crazy shit to do with your eyes.
she's unbelievable. Like she is this movie. Like this movie doesn't work if she doesn't give that performance. Like this movie is okay, it's fine, but it's not
It
groundbreaking.
hinges on her.
Like
No,
it
agreed.
and like everything that she does, like the scene where she is like moving around at night and like watching him sleep, like it to me that's like the scariest scene of the year. Like in any horror movie, that scene was terrifying. Like her just in the corner and then just like skittering about the room and stuff.
The
And then-
movements throughout this movie that she makes are very like stop motion-y.
yeah, I'm like,
And like really unsettling because it feels like you shouldn't move like that. Why are you
Yeah.
moving like that? It's really like that scene especially. I think they did actually have like a stunt person for like who is like a weird like I don't know, they do weird shit with their body and so
Yeah.
they can like they're a movement specialist for that one scene with the flowers where she's like moving across the room.
okay.
But every other scene was her. So I was like, okay, but still, like all those other scenes with her body and her face, so you can see that it's her doing those weird movements. And I just thought, like, she really, like, I mean, when she does the frown, she's literally the
yeah.
frown. She's the frown emoji. I never thought I would see a more intense frown in a film than like Florence Pugh in Midsommar. Like that was
Yeah.
like the biggest frown I'd seen in a film, like for a long period of time. But like her frown takes the cake. Like it's like her whole face. It's so dramatic at that party scene. And it's so fucking funny. Like that's the thing. All of her, she just nails everything that she's doing where it's scary. And I love when they shoot her in the shadows and they just like
Oh,
have
yeah.
like these weird, like white, like kind of reflections on her eyes that look like otherworldly. It's like just fucking incredible shit. But like anytime she's skulking in the shadows and the way that they shoot it, it's just like horrifying. But you're right. I think the nighttime one is like the scariest because it's like the last thing you want is someone fucking creeping around the room and then it's like yelling like, why don't you love me as much as I love you? And it's like, oh my God. Like when we saw it, I was like, Nolan, I'm gonna do that shit to you in the middle of the night. You're gonna wake up and I'm gonna be like fucking like creeping around the room. He's like, I just assume you do that already. Go back to sleep. You look so cute when you sleep. I would
Yeah.
say that though. He does look cute when he sleeps. I think most boys do because it's like, oh, they're so helpless and docile and not attacking me.
Yeah, not me
They're not
because
conscious.
I'm a mouth breather, so I'm just snoring and my mouth is wide
One too,
open.
yeah. I mean, he's cute when he's sleepy. That's better.
Yeah.
He's sleepy, not like sleeping. Yeah, 100%. But
But
no,
yeah, like-
but she's just fucking like I would say if the Academy ignores her performance in this, they are just fucking being assholes. We will
Yeah.
riot.
if they don't nominate her, I might boycott the Oscars. Like actually.
You mean
like-
yeah, like not like we were invited, but you mean like boycott it from watching it.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. You know, I do get invited every
No,
year.
we're gonna
but
go there and
I
burn the building down so they can't even release the nominations. I know it's digital. I don't care. I don't want that shit out.
but yeah, like the way that she moves her face is just crazy. Like first off, she's beautiful. So like she's beautiful. She's very charming and
She's
charismatic.
petite and like short too, so it's like impressive that they're able to make her like really scary.
Yeah, but then like she, like that scene where she's moving around in the darkness and she's like the "Why don't you love me?" Like she doesn't look like her when she's
No.
screaming that. And then when
Yeah.
when Bear leaves the house and the door is duct taped up and
Dude,
she
that
just
is one of my
stands there.
favorite scenes.
And like the way that she just like squints her whole face, I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't even look like you. And yeah,
Yep.
the frown is so exaggerated.
It's so intense. Like it's literally like the frown lines go all the way to her chin, it feels like. Like that's why I was like Florence Pugh. And I will
That's
never
a good call
like,
out for Florence Pugh. Like
I will not say like I will dethrone Florence Pugh lightly, okay? But Inde Navarrette, like you've got the frown crown now. That is exactly it. Because she was the upside down or the like, you know, frown face emoji, but like in real life. And I just thought like there's certain points where you're like, I almost I would have believed if they were like it was CGI. But like the fact that she really did that with her face when like at that same party when she like smashes her face and then she's like got the blood and she's like opening her mouth like all agape like like looking at everyone. I was like, what the fuck is she doing? It's so good. She said that like I think I saw that she was saying in like filming that scene, especially the party scene and how uncomfortable it was. She said like there was a lot of extras in that scene who hadn't really like seen her do something weird like this before. So she said she like was thriving on the fact that everyone was so uncomfortable that like it just made her. Yeah.
Her crazy ass
like,
monologue.
Oh, dude. Okay. So this is okay. The Hansel Gretel thing. First off, that little fucking monologue that she wrote that was so disgusting was written by Curry Barker's father. He asked his dad to write that because his father's a playwright, I guess. A famous playwright. And I thought that was hilarious. But a lot of people are like, that's some fucking depraved ass shit. But because of the brother-sister relationship, we also know that Nikki was writing a book, she said before, right? Yeah. So and that's what it's supposed to be. Because I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
A love story, not a romance.
It was an incestuous love. Well, this is an incestuous fucking romance story with the brother sister Hansel Gretel. And what was so interesting about it, I saw some people on Reddit commenting saying like, do you think that maybe the whole brother sister sex thing was like partially like, I don't know if this was written by the entity or whatever, that the wish thing that's fulfilling her right now, that like maybe that was part of the real Nikki that had slipped in? Because I think Ian, his friend, he mentions that like the other girl, Sarah, who likes Bear, she tells him that Nikki said like the day before they like got together that she just thought about him as like a little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone was like, do you think that that was part of the real Nikki, like subliminally like slipping in with like the brother sister incest story of like that's how the sex feels to her, or like any of this relationship if when she's like watching it, or like anytime she can tune in? I mean, that was like fucked up. And I was like, wow, that's fucking interesting.
Yeah. Hadn't thought of that.
I was trying not to think of that monologue once she was done with it. I was like, Jesus. However, I love that like everyone's reaction is just like, what like it's perfect. Everyone's reaction at that exact moment. And like the thing with her is that like she's so crazy, but it's so good. Like she's literally acting like an insane girlfriend, which is like a trope we've seen before. But it's like so great because they're writing this line where it's like everything she's doing is it's like funny, but it's also like horrifying. It becomes equally as scary. But like when she duct tapes the door and you first like when he goes down to leave and it's like you see that and you just think there like how long that must have taken her to do that.
And how did he sleep through that? Like,
I mean, honestly, she also cut his hair.
Not quiet.
Some people were saying like I saw on Reddit, they were like suggesting that maybe the entity doesn't like to sleep as much because it says I don't like my dreams. And we don't know if that's like maybe the real Nikki, or like also if it feels like if it's awake or sleeping next to Bear that like the real Nikki can come through. And like it maybe like that's why it was like off fucking doing other stuff. But I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess it would have taken at least 8 hours to fucking duct tape that door all night. And the fact that like he's just trying to fucking open it. And she's like, if you're having trouble with the door, maybe you should just not go to work. Maybe you should just stay. And I was just like, this is great shit. Because everything rides that line of like, this could be so true of like a crazy girlfriend to the point that like it's so funny until it's like, okay, like terrifying. She just really nails every element of that, I feel.
Yeah. She's amazing in this. And yeah, like you mentioned earlier, whenever she slips back into real Nikki, like
Is so good. That's always like the best scares, I feel like. When she does that the first time when they're making out, like I legit like I felt like I wanted to jump out of my seat the way that she does.
yeah, it's just amazing how fluid she is and how quick she is to just snap back and then snap back into the entity and stuff.
It's so like, and it's like sometimes you're like, I can't tell what's what, or like you could see like both of them like fighting for control just based on her eyes, and the things that she's doing with her body are like not making sense. And you like see the sadness and the pain, and then like her smiling like fake. It's just so incredible. But yeah, that scene where she just stands there and waits for him all day is so gross. But like Nolan was even like, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even care that much about that. And I was like, of course he wouldn't. He's like, what? I mean, so we gotta clean up a little bit of like shit, vomit, whatever. I mean, I was like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well,
But-
and then it all just really like culminates into a crazy final act, you know, of
Yes.
Bear trying to reverse the
curse.
wish.
We don't
And-
really do that. I love how their only suggestion is you could kill yourself. And even the guy at the store says that. I mean, you could also kill yourself. I'm just spitballing here, is what he said. But it's like, as if you're dead, the wish will be like gone. But like the thing that he continues for so long is like, that's pretty unforgivable, dude. Like the way that he's like, I like, even when Nikki's like pleading with him to kill her, and he's like, oh, because it's so bad to be with me, right? It's like, fuck, you're not learning anything from this scenario, dude. You should have, like, when he first hears her on the phone, when they're like, do you want to talk to her? And then you just hear her screaming. That like sent a full-on chill all the way down my spine in a similar way to like a couple scenes from Milk and Cereal did. That got me. I don't know about you, but like that was, oh my God.
Like when we talk about scares that are not jump scares, but like they stay with you, that part was, yeah, that hit me. I was like, oh my God, that's horrifying.
Plus, they're like lulling you in anytime with like, I mean, Curry Barker, I feel like does it really well. He's a master of it in this movie, of like, even in scenes where you know something's coming, he totally gets you to like still be like shocked by it, because he like just makes you like totally draws you in with like the comedic or the sentimental element. Like there's never been a better jump scare scene, I think, at this movie than the one with when him and Sarah are in the car at the end, and you know Nikki's gonna show up at some point, but like you get really wrapped up in it, and like they're about to open her letter and see if she got into like art school, and like I felt so bad for Sarah, because you're just like, man, she's the only good person I think fully in this movie. I mean, I thought Nikki was too before they took away her free will and made her a demon, but but like
Sarah was
them,
like, Sarah's a good one, but the whole time we're just like, she's definitely gonna die. Like,
she's too good for Bear. She needs to get out of here. It's really, I was like, I hope she gets into that fucking art school, because Nikki's gonna be here any minute. And but still, when Nikki shows up and like bashes her head through the window, and then the way that like when you slowly realize like, oh, she's got a brick on the wheel and she's like smashing her head in, amazing shit. That effect was also great.
That scene, and there's other times in the movie, but that scene in particular, that reminds me so much of an Ari Aster or an Osgood Perkins, where like they are drawing your eyes to everything around the character. You're just like looking, and you're looking for the thing.
But then eventually, like, it's weird, like you're doing that and you're still on edge, but like you do kind of let your guard down a little bit because of what they're talking, and because of also I think the length of the scene and like how long they draw it out. Very similar things in both of those. And they also, like, I would say, especially Ari Aster loves to play with like really unfortunate fucking endings for people, and like really big mind fucks, and like, you know, just thinking of like Eddington and like the main character like fucking being a vegetable trapped like with his annoying ass mother-in-law for like the rest of his life. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but like that's a fucking crueler, like worse than death kind of fate. I feel like this movie for Nikki, a person who didn't do anything, it also gives her that with this, like, I mean, Sarah as well, but like Nikki, I do feel as much as like I feel bad for Sarah because she was just like she should have just backed off and like fucking left Bear alone.
Yeah.
But obviously nobody knew that she had already killed the cat or not killed the cat, but fucking eaten the cat or cooked
Yeah.
it, whatever. They didn't know how fucking crazy she was. So I'll it's not their bad, but I would say like I think the person you ultimately should feel the worst for is Nikki because my God, like that's a pretty bad like this whole thing. I mean, we don't really get specifics on where she's trapped, but that phone call I think is just so effective and that you're
And
like wherever she is, it's not good.
And yeah, we don't really learn all that much about her other than she's a writer. She's feeling like she's stuck. So she's like trying to kind of kickstart her creativity and stuff. And then she gets captured,
I think that's on purpose though, because I feel like just the more I've rewatched this movie, because I've already rewatched it like 3 times. I love it. I feel like we're learning as much as Bear knows about Nikki. And because he's obsessed with her, I feel like it's like you love someone from a distance when you're obsessed with them. You don't really know them on the inside and all the like gory details, I guess, because no one's perfect. But like when you're obsessed with someone and you have this huge crush for so long, it's because you're seeing like a certain version, like this, like put on a pedestal, idolized version of them. And I feel like like he didn't know that like her relationship with her dad wasn't good, but like both Ian and Sarah both knew that. And they were like, really? Like she's upset that her dad has cancer when she tells them that. And it's like, he never even follows up with that and then doesn't even care that like, that's not even true. Like it's very clear that like, he doesn't know as much about her as you might think. And he doesn't really love her because like, if you really love someone, you wouldn't want to change anything about them.
Yeah. Well, and I think also kind of the point of it is like you don't need to know someone, or someone doesn't even inherently need to be a good person to be a victim. Like we see her for a brief moment, we see that she's a normal person, and then we learn that she has some flaws, like she's been fucking the friend, she's in a situationship with the friend, for
hey, we've all had friends with benefits. Don't sex shame.
Well, I'm just saying, like, somebody doesn't need to be perfect or be like what's it called, like a Mary Sue. Like they don't need to be a perfect character in order to be a victim. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, that was a very just good job. I didn't even know that you knew the term, but what's funny about that is that I also feel like so this kind of ties into it, but I read this really unhinged theory about what's possessing Nikki in this movie, and I wanted to share it with you while we were talking about this. Okay, is this okay time?
Yeah,
because I feel like I don't know when else I'm going to bring this up, but basically the comment on Reddit was that and they did admit that this was far out there, but they thought that when he wished for Nikki to love him more than anyone in the world, I was like, they said that they thought maybe it was like Nikki was repossessed by someone who already loved him more than anyone in the world, which would be like, in their mind, it was his grandmother. And this is why. Here's the evidence. Okay, so when Nikki first, like, he makes the wish and then she's acting all weird about like getting in his car or not going home because like the real her and the entity are like fighting over control, it feels like. And she's like, well, my cat just, I just lost my cat. And he's like, you mean my cat? And he mentions that it was his grandma's cat in his grandma's house and she left them both for him because she loved him so much. So their thought is that like maybe grandma's spirit was placed in Nikki to be like, that's the thing that is possessing her and loved him, because the my cat comment could be, but I was like, I feel like this is just because the things like, I don't know what's up and down. I'm trying to be human. But then they did also say that like she looks older at night when she's sneaking around the room. And that they said that the incest story felt like hinting towards the incest feeling.
Okay.
And I'm just like, they're like, so a twisted version of his grandmother was inhabiting Nikki's body while her soul was trapped in hell. And I was like, that's a theory I've never thought. That was pretty unhinged. The unhinged grandma theory is what I'm calling this. I don't know if
that feels like some Ari Aster kind of shit.
Yeah. If it was an Ari Aster movie, the grandma is absolutely going to be making an appearance. And it is that his grandmother is in love with him and he's like fucking her the whole time. It would weirdly be less disturbing though if it was really his grandmother. I feel if it really was, because at least she'd love him. She'd be like, you know what? At least it's my grandson. I know it's fucked, but like I feel like it's worse for Nikki overall the way that it is.
On that note, I didn't really read into it, but I saw a theory that was the entity that possesses Nikki was his cat. Like someone that loves you, that's obsessed with you. It's the cat.
Well, and it just goes to show you at the very beginning of the movie that like he doesn't even know how to care for a pet safely.
Yeah, he doesn't lock up his prescriptions. Like that bottle didn't just open on its own.
I thought that they were supposed to open with opposable thumbs though. So that's why I was like, it had to have just been open. There's no way that we're trying to believe this cat got into his
He is a
thing.
negligent pet owner and left
that's a red flag off the fucking front for him. But yeah, when she's like, so one of the things I love most about the ending and like the craziness is that like after she's killed Sarah, and then when he like you get the friend making the wish for $1 billion and it just rains down and you're like, God damn it, that's the proof that we all needed, was that like this isn't cursed, it's Bear that was the curse, he's the problem.
My first thought in that scene was good luck laundering that. Like
that's an adult response to that. As a kid,
how are you gonna you got to start a business just to front the money.
How are you gonna like? That's what I'm saying.
I watched Better Call Saul recently, so laundering money is in my head.
That makes sense. I was going to say like, I was like a kid looking at that, being like, God, that's the first thing I would do too. Is wish for a fucking $1 billion. Or like wish that certain people never existed. But overall, I thought that like the craziest part that I don't know if you caught the first time, but I caught this on the second time, was at the end when he goes home after that, and Nikki is like comes all creepily out of the shadows, and he finds that like Sarah's corpse there is naked, and Nikki's like wearing her clothes, and she also like copied her tattoos and like with markers, and she's like fucking trying to chain smoke a cigarette, like just fucking crazy. Like it was so fun. Like I was like, I didn't notice that the first time, like why she did all that, and then I realized like the second watch it clicked. Did you notice that the first time?
Yeah, I didn't notice the chain smoking connected, but I saw the tattoos and I was like, oh, she's trying to be.
That was like such a great detail.
It's like the entity is like so obsessed that it's like she's like, you can't love Nikki, so I'll become this
Sarah.
other girl. Yeah.
And it's like, that's why I kind of feel bad for the entity. Like it's another person that's been fucked over by Bear, whoever it is. We don't know. Is it like a fucking just like a spirit or like a demon? We have no idea.
And Nikki fucking goes nuts in that final scene. She's like, I'll gouge my eyes out and shove the pistol up my pussy. I was like, oh my God.
I know. I was like, oh my God, please don't let her do that.
Like,
God,
how are those two things connected? Like,
like this just jumped from 0 to 60. And I mean, she had just shot his friend in the head. So we should, or I guess maybe she did that right afterwards. But I was like, this is, if you're going to make a move and do anything to fix this, now is the time. But I figured he would just puss out because he did at the beginning when he tried to tell Nikki how he felt and he pushed out like a total bitch. And she gave him the total out of like, tell me how you feel. And he couldn't do it. So I just assumed like at the end, I was like,
time he couldn't do it.
Yeah, literally when she asked him, like, do you have feelings for me? This is the time to tell me. And it's like, no. It's like, dumbass. I get it. But it's also just like, just fucking do it. And then, so I just assumed he was going to bitch out at the end too.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I was like, whatever he's doing. And then it's like, just great. Cause it's like, he's like, no, it's okay, baby. Everything's all right. I love you. It's okay. And then like, it just cuts him in the bathroom and she's like screaming, trying to get in there. And I'm like, oh my God. And then all like the almost so creepy how she just is like banging on the door and screaming. And then he's like, I just need a minute. And she's like, okay, thanks. And then like walks off and you're like, Jesus, fuck, where's she going now? What's she up to? And that's what another thing that I didn't catch is what she was doing out there, because he like is trying to kill himself with the gun, but he can't do it. So then he's like finds all the pills that his cat ate, which is just poetic. And then he swallows all of them. And then it's like, of course he's gonna bitch out. He's trying to make himself puke at the last second. And I was like, this motherfucking guy needs to die. I'm gonna lose it. And then thankfully she had just broken the fucking wish or made a one wish Willow for herself that he would love her more than anything in the world. And I thought that that was just like the best ending possible. It was so that last scene of them coming out and just both being like in love with each other was just like a really funny, emotional, and like also like horrific. And like, what the fuck? Now there's two entities like in their bodies, like loving each other. Like, this is so weird. And then as he dies, you're like, oh, yes, I forgot about that. Thank God.
The ending, like, I think this ending is perfect. Like,
there's nothing I would change. Absolutely.
When I saw the movie in theaters, there was so much going on in that final thing where I didn't register that the sound of the box opening up and then her snapping the twig. So like I saw him trying to make himself puke, and then he just like kind of like has a nice look on his face, and he gets up. And when I saw it in theaters, I was like, oh, is he just like, did he just like accept this reality? He's like, I would rather have this than not have it. And then when he goes out, and then you see the Willow, you're like, oh shit. And it's like,
I thought, though. It's such a good twist because then she saved herself from the curse, at least from his cursed wish.
And
she did.
I feel like it was an interview or something where he said the original ending was going to be that she shoots herself after he dies. And then like, they're like, hey, let's do one more take. Inde,
not doing that.
I just want you to roll with it. Like, wake up as Nikki and just react.
Yeah. To assess the situation.
To everything that's going on. And
the most you could argue this is the most horrific scene is her realizing what the fuck has happened.
Yeah, and like the more you think about it, it's just gonna get worse because she's gonna get up. She's gonna see Sarah's body. She's gonna see Ian's body.
He pushes Bear off of her lap, rightfully so. Though I was glad that she did that. Yeah. She's like, get this fucking guy out of here.
She's got to deal with the $1 billion. Like, her life is fucked.
The cops. This is the thing. I was like, do you think these cops are gonna investigate this? They're gonna find these one wish Willows at these two houses, read the instructions, and find $1 billion just like that rained into this house all of a sudden? They're gonna be, I know they're not gonna believe it's supernatural shit, but she's gonna be saying this shit. I'm just like, it'd be easy to prove. Go to the store, buy one, and do it for yourself. I'm sure the cops would never listen to it. She's probably gonna go straight to jail, but I'm so glad they didn't make her kill herself at the end. I think it was better, and they gave her like the Pearl ending where it's her crying over the credits, and like it was perfect. It was exactly as it should be. I'm just like, it's always great when you hear about those. You're like, man, just that. Let's get an extra take just in case, and it works out way better.
Yeah, the movie's just amazing, and I feel like this is a good note for us to wrap up on. But did you see the interview with Curry Barker? Him talking about how like he doesn't necessarily want to make a sequel for this, but like he does love the idea of making a series,
an anthology series with other directors,
different wishes. So it's like not every episode isn't necessarily like a horror movie. Like someone could make a good wish and it actually turns out well or something. I love that idea.
Me too. And I like the fact that he's like, I'm on to different things. I want to do more stuff. And like, I want people to still play in the sandbox if they're interested. And I was like, I would totally watch that as a TV show. He's also got, so his next movie is Anything But Ghosts.
And I think I heard him say that that's part of this world.
Yes. So he did say that, like, I believe like there might be like a news story or something about what happened, the events of this movie.
Yeah.
But it says 2 fake paranormal investigators must face actual ghosts while dealing with the deception of their own fraudulent business, which is a great like pitch. It's very similar to an older movie called The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. That's by Peter Jackson, and that's a great movie. But this is like starring Curry Barker and Cooper Tomlinson and Aaron Paul and Bryce Dallas Howard, which is crazy. But the fact that like they're both going to be in it, I'm so hyped. And Cooper Tomlinson recently just said that the movie, they co-wrote it together, like you mentioned earlier. And he said it's basically like if Key and Peele walked into Hereditary. And I was like, sold. I'm there day one.
Amazing.
And the fact that he's also doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He's the one that's going to be doing. I'm just so hyped because whatever he's going to do is going to be different than what we've seen before. But I think like if any franchise is in need of a makeover or something fresh and new, it's that one. And we're also going to be getting some A24 series as well. But like, I want to see what Curry Barker does with Leatherface. That's going to be fucking epic, don't you think?
Oh yeah. All right, well, I don't know about you, but my obsession for this movie has not ended. It's still gonna go strong, even though Nikki is gonna have a terrible life going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Nikki, but I just love this movie like so much.
All right. Well, next week we're gonna visit. I guess at this point it is a classic. But we have the Odyssey.
Don't make me feel old, Jace.
We have the Odyssey coming out, so we're gonna revisit the great movie from 2004, Troy.
Which basically acts as like the prequel to the Odyssey that Christopher Nolan is releasing next week. But obviously there will be some differentiators. I mean, if anybody, I mean, obviously they're not bringing Sean Bean back because he played Odysseus in Troy, but my God, wouldn't it have been crazy if they cast Sean Bean? A secret fucking actual sequel to this movie. But if you haven't seen Troy, definitely do so. Brad Pitt is incredible as Achilles, and it's like the whole prelude to the Odyssey. So like if you don't know the story, this is going to be a really, really helpful tidbit to watch before, even though it might not be, 100% canon to each other because they're like obviously made by different filmmakers, not in the same technical universe, but I still think they'll basically work as like a prequel sequel situation.
I feel like for me, like Brad Pitt was a big movie star at this point already, but like for my forming mind, the first movies that like I think of with Brad Pitt is Ocean's 11 and Troy. Like those are the first movies in my head of like these are Brad Pitt's first movies for James. Like I've seen a bunch of other movies that I did beforehand. Fight Club was before this, but like
the most formative movies that you remember of like the first times you saw him and the biggest impressions, I would imagine.
Yeah, like
because obviously you're not watching Seven when you're like a fucking kid, I
mean, I don't know. I was watching Braveheart.
You might have.
I was watching Braveheart as a kid, but
that's different though.
Ocean's 11 came out like when I was 11 years old. So like 11, I feel like is when I'm actually like retaining memories and stuff.
That's
well.
True.
So
wow,
like
that long? It took you 11 years to start retaining memories.
Dude, I'm a weirdo. I like don't remember things before like the age of 8. So like I just assumed that I was abused or something. I don't know.
Oh man, I want to uncover that shit. No, but that's what, like. It's okay. Well, you move on. I don't know how to come on back from you being abused as a child. I have no good cutaway. But
that's why I'm scared of therapy.
Okay. I got one. I'll give you my 2 Brad Pitt formative performances just to talk about anything else. Is I would say Troy definitely, and then my other one is another kind of weird one, which if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Called Meet Joe Black, where he basically plays death and in the body of Brad Pitt and makes Anthony Hopkins give him a tour of like life before he kills him in a week on his birthday. It's a weird ass fucking plot. And
one of the most iconic scenes of like somebody getting hit by a car in cinema history. And
also like Brad Pitt eating peanut butter is like the cutest thing I've ever seen. So like for the first time, it's just adorable in general. It's a weird movie, but I love it. So these two, I feel like we're just like, that is the hottest. Like when I saw Troy, I was like, that is the hottest anyone's ever looked ever. Until I saw Jacob Elordi. I'm sorry to say, but like even fucking what's his face in this movie, Brian Cox. He said that like the first time he saw Brad Pitt on set, he was like, that is a gorgeous fucking man. And I was like, yeah, thank you. He gets it. So I just can't wait to talk about this. It is streaming on AMC Plus if you have that service. If not, you can rent it for only $4.99 anywhere you watch movies on demand. But also, I would recommend buying this fucker because it's so good.
You could probably find this movie at the bargain bins at a gas station where they have just like random DVDs.
That makes it sound terrible, but maybe you could.
Everyone knows what I'm
honestly.
talking about. This movie has been in circulation forever. You could find this. You could rent it from the library, I bet.
You can. And I think it's one of those like special. The thing that pisses me off about them casting Matt Damon instead of Sean Bean in The Odyssey is because it's one of the only Sean Bean movies where he lives. So he could be in the sequel. And I was like, I just feel like you're kind of spitting on his face because he's fucking still here. Just saying. I mean, I'm sure Matt Damon will be great, but that's, we'll dive into that next week.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week on the regular exclusive podcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.